time with Elsie. I'm Elsie, of course. I'm Elsie, of course. I said I'm Elsie, of course.
I'm Alexandria.
What's up with you? You seem tired.
I haven't gotten much sleep lately. I was up all night doing summer work.
Sounds like you need a pick-me-up.
Coffee?
No, you seem to need some old-fashioned Spirit of God. Did you pray when you woke up?
I didn't really think to.
You need to pray every morning. Asking God for a good day and energy to get through the day is necessary, just like His power is necessary for all things. Maybe today's lesson will help you out.
What kind of tree is that? Wait, I know. It's an apple tree.
How can you tell?
Because it's got apples on it. Apples are my favorite fruit. No, oranges. Wait, bananas. Bananas are definitely my favorite.
My favorite fruit is love.
Love? Love isn't a fruit.
Sure it is. Love is a fruit of the Spirit.
Fruit of the what?
The fruit of the Spirit. In the book of Galatians, Paul writes about love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. When we walk with the Holy Spirit, that's the fruit we can expect to see in our lives.
I'm not a tree. I don't have fruit.
The fruit of the Spirit doesn't grow on trees. It grows in us, because of what we are. An apple tree naturally makes apples, an orange tree naturally makes oranges, and a banana tree makes...
Bananas!
Right. And all who follow Jesus have God's Holy Spirit living inside them. So when they choose to let God's Holy Spirit guide them, what naturally comes out is...
Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
Right. All the fruit of the Spirit. And just like you can tell an apple tree by its apples, the fruit of God's Holy Spirit lets others know that we belong to God. But without the power of God's Holy Spirit, Paul says a different fruit grows in us, the fruit of our sinful nature.
That does not sound good.
It isn't. That fruit is selfishness, pride, anger, envy, disobedience, greed, fighting, and anything that keeps us from getting along with each other and loving others the way God does. That fruit always makes us want more stuff, because we think stuff can make us happier than God can. That fruit leaves us empty instead of full.
Ew, I don't want that fruit. I want love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. But I get angry sometimes, and I'm not very patient. Guess I'll just have to try harder.
Paul tells us trying harder won't get us anywhere. That's because our own strength only lasts a little while. But those who follow Jesus have declared that their sinful nature is dead. Now we can choose to live by the power of God's Holy Spirit instead. We can spend time with Him and pray and get to know Him, for real. And as we get to know God's Holy Spirit more...
I know. The power of God's Holy Spirit will make more of the fruit of the Spirit grow in us. Like bananas!
Like bananas.
Hey kids, Teacher Elsie here. So today's lesson, we're going to start off with a story of Sally. So Sally went to the movie theaters with her friends to go see a really sad movie, and by the end of the movie, all of her friends were crying, but she didn't feel sad. And she sat there when she went home and she wondered, why didn't I cry? Am I heartless? Is there something wrong with me? Why don't I feel sad when I see sad things? And it wasn't just happening in the movies, but when people around her would talk about sad things happening in their lives, she didn't really feel an emotion about it. She didn't really care about it. She pretended to and tried to for her friends, but she didn't know what was wrong with her. So to understand this, we have to look back in the Bible. So back in the day, the Jews were God's chosen people. God had said, these are my people, and everyone else are called Gentiles. So when God died on the cross, He said, everyone is now the children of God. Everyone, not just the Jews. So Paul starts to wonder, well, if the Gentiles are now children of God too, do they need to start acting like the Jews did? That means, do they need to start eating what the Jews ate, dressing the way the Jews dressed, praying the way the Jews prayed? He wondered, do they have to start acting like Jews to be children of God? Or is there a new way to identify as a follower of Christ? Well, Paul argued that if you still believed that you had to act a certain way to be a follower of Christ, you are then doing things of the flesh. You are following a flesh-led life. That means you are doing things to please your flesh. You are doing good deeds to be a good Christian. You are making sacrifices to get on God's good side. And those were all flesh-led things. So if you recognize that we are living and following the Spirit, it will change you from the inside out. It will produce fruit of the Spirit, which is what we are meant to produce. We are supposed to be motivated and empowered by the Holy Spirit, not by our flesh. So what that means is that we don't have to act a certain way to be a follower of Christ. We don't have to act like the Jews to be a child of God. We are already called children of God just because God called us so. So when you let the Holy Spirit guide you, you start to change truly from the inside out. You are not doing things to be a good person. Instead, you are led by this Holy Spirit to be selfless and to serve others, which is what we are called to do. You are called to start putting others before you and to start serving your community, start volunteering at your church, start helping those people around you, maybe pray for others, each other, and you start doing things for others rather than for yourself. You are no longer for the flesh, but you are for the Spirit. Many early Christians didn't know how to define a Christian back then. They believed that a Christian had to act a certain way and do certain things and believe certain things to be a follower of Christ. And that meant they were flesh-led. They thought they had to follow a certain set of rules. But Jesus came to die for us. And then he sent the Spirit to live within us, to guide us, and for us to not serve flesh, but for flesh to serve us, to serve others. So, in the story of the young girl, she went to the movies and didn't cry, but when she went home, she started to think and ask God, well, why am I like this? And she started to really listen to God. And slowly along the way, she started to let the Holy Spirit inside of her, let the Holy Spirit talk to her, guide her in her lives. And she started to realize that the reason why she wasn't crying during movies is she wasn't empathizing for others and serving others and really listening to them. She was living a flesh-led life and not a spirit-led life. And after she started following the Holy Spirit, she started to feel for people the way God feels for his people. She started to see everyone's pain and suffering the way God sees people's pain and suffering. And she started to feel moved. So even if she didn't cry at every sad movie, she started to feel pain for those movies and started to cry. And slowly she started to understand why people cry at sad movies. They feel moved by the emotions of people. So remember, guys, we need to be led by the Holy Spirit and really listen to God and ask for God to move us and let his power move us in everything that we do. We need to pray every morning, pray every night, and ask God to really guide us through the day. So, see you next time. See what I mean?
I think so. God's power helps us act and think positively and helps us show others God's light.
Exactly. So in the mornings, you should pray for a good day and ask God to bless you with the energy you need to get through the day. And at night, you should thank him for another day of life, and you should ask him to bless you and your loved ones tomorrow.
You're right. I'm going to start praying more, and you guys should too.
If you have any prayer requests, send us an email to lighthouse@plaog.net.
And make sure to download the activity sheets in the description below.
Thanks for tuning into Tea Time with Elsie. We did it.
What are you doing?
Big muscles.
Just don't act like my sister.
Look at those.
Dang.
It's good thing you have this on.
See what I mean?
I think so.
God's power.
God's power.
See what I mean?
Every single time.
Yeah.
Recording take 3.
That works. Be sad, tired, exhausted. Hey everyone. You ready?
There's hair in my mouth.
Nasty.
Well, I wonder why.
Just walk away. Okay. Hello. Are you there?
Not typical of me. Myself, I'm sorry. I hope that you will.
Hello from the other side.
Hey everyone.
With Elsie. I'm Elsie, of course.
Oh shoot, I was smiling.
Oh, you have to act tired.
Why are people who are tired so smiling? I'm always
Why
smiling.
don't
was
you
literally going
just
like
be
this.
like, Spit in my mug and washing it.
Get sad.
I have.
Get depressed. We're gonna have to wash this.
My makeup is all over it.
Okay.
You sound constipated.
Girl,
I am.
Just kidding.